Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Um, yeah. Nothing.
It's fairly early. Give us a break.
It's fairly early. Give me time to wake up. How have you been?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Had a bit of a rocky week last two-way. Again, for those of you who are not aware, I'm a two-way champion. Go check them out on Discord. The link will be down below. They're a place where you can just be yourself, be positive to other people. Please. Yeah, other than that, let's get, don't be scared of him. Fucking drag him down to hell.
Yeah, a lot of people on the board of like the company are just like all this.
Well, shit games. I mean, look at Vanguard. That's had raving reviews, right? Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the Mind Over Madness podcast with myself and that beautiful, sexy, curly-haired man, Sean. Look at him.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. But yeah, how are you, friend? How are things?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Yeah. Nothing to report, thank you.
It's fairly early. Give us a break.
It's fairly early. Give me time to wake up. How have you been?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Had a bit of a rocky week last week. It was a little bit rocky, but this week back on track and much happier for it.
Yeah, that's
So,
good.
It's a good thing. But yeah, been up to much, or has it been a pretty quiet 2 weeks for you?
It's been pretty slow, I'll be honest, but I mean, just trying to keep doing stuff. I managed to go to a nice art exhibition thing, Floating Earth, I think it's called, at my local park. That was very interesting. I mean, feel free to show the picture on the podcast if you can.
I shall.
I found it quite interesting. Seems to really get anything like that up north. And yeah, just been trying to keep fit, keep well, keep active.
I wish I wasn't lazy.
Well, I say I've been doing that, but
I literally, I don't think I've done exercise in a while. I'd go for walks, that's it.
yeah.
That's sort of like my limit at this point.
Well, that's still something.
Something is better
It's
than
important.
Yes, true. Very, very true, good sir.
So, shall we move on to the news, or is there anything to address before we start?
The only other thing I've got to address is two-way. Again, for those of you who are not aware, I'm a two-way champion. Go check them out on Discord. The link will be down below. They're a place where you can just be yourself, be positive to other people, and create a safe space for people online. Feel free to go check out their Discord. It's down below. Please. Yeah, other than that, let's get on to the news.
On with the show.
On with the news. There we are.
So,
What have you got?
the Activision CEO, Bobby Kotick, as I think that's his name,
Yeah,
been
Bobby
making,
Cockstick. Bobby
has
Cockstick.
been making the news by being a shady mofo.
What a shock.
So he's obviously been covering for a long time for a lot of employees who have been kind of sexually harassing other employees, and then it's been figured out that he's been like taking an active role in it sometimes and covered it up and thrown other employees under the bus for it, and it's a rather big scandal, and a lot of people are calling for him to resign. So
Yeah, I'm surprised shareholders are sticking up for him, to be completely honest.
yeah,
The man threatened to kill his secretary.
yeah, that's the one thing.
Like,
That tipped it over the edge.
I'm like, bad enough you're covering for, sexual offenders, but you threatened to
Yeah.
have someone killed? How powerful do you think you are?
Yeah, it's
Sounded
like,
quite
what the hell? It's like, it just goes to show that a lot of people at the top don't get there by playing fair.
No, they don't. Unfortunately. Yeah, disgusting. The man should just fuck off already. Like, no one wants him in charge, clearly.
Yeah.
There's so... I feel sorry for, like, the developers and stuff and the workers of Activision and Blizzard and things, because, again, there's been, like, a petition, I think, which has got about nearly 2,000 signatures now. There's 10,000 people that work in Activision. The 8,000 that haven't signed are just too scared to, because they're scared that they'll get blacklisted or they won't be allowed to work in the industry anymore, which is, by the way, utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
like for standing up to an arsehole who thinks that he can go around threatening people and make millions by sitting on his fat ass doing fuck all. Like, yeah,
And
don't be scared of him. Fucking drag him down to hell.
yeah, a lot of people on the board of like the company are just like all his rich pals. So it's a bit like they've kind of built a wall of defense around themselves.
Yeah.
And Activision is still kind of sticking up for him, saying, "Oh, we take these issues very seriously and all this, all that corporate speak." But unless action is done, then it's like null and void.
Yeah. It's utter shit. And I think there was like a quote from Bobby Kotick or something that he said, if he couldn't fix this issue quick enough, then he would resign. Which is
what does that mean?
A fucking laugh. Oh, if I can't just brush over this controversy like my boxers do my penis, then I will resign.
Yeah.
It's like, Bobby, no one wants you in charge anymore, mate. Fuck off already. Like, put someone in charge who actually gives a shit and doesn't underpay the women who do the same job as the men. How about that? How about that? And same goes for Yves Chameau from fucking Ubisoft. I know he's not been in the news recently, but he runs Ubisoft, of course. He is the CEO. But his company had just as many sexual scandals, and yet nothing has been said or done about him in ages. And I understand that people go, well, I just want to play the games. I'm not interested in the politics of it. I get that. But this is important, man. Like, these people are being abused to fucking high heaven and are so scared to speak out about it that one person in Activision, that poor girl fucking took her own life because her nudes were being shared around. Like, it doesn't matter if you just want to speak. Like, I'm just about the games. I fucking hate politics, but this is kind of important, you know? Like,
Yeah.
do you want good games or shit games? I mean, look at Vanguard. That's had raving reviews, right? Like, that game has been shat on so heavily, and that's probably because devs don't want to fucking work on the game.
Yeah, it's not going to be a great work environment with distrust from people at the top.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to be at your full performance, and I mean, I'm sure the job will get done regardless because whoever leaves will get replaced.
Yeah, it's so
There's no heart.
frustrating. It's frustrating, man, because the thing is, someone like who's at the top could have so much power. Like Bobby Kotick could fix the issues of like gender advantage or whatever you want to call it, and representation like that. No problem. He could do it so easily, and yet he just doesn't. And doesn't that just say something about him? Like, isn't it just fairly obvious? He's just like, cocks over vagina. It's just better. And it's like, that's not how it works, Bobby. It's
having just received like a 30 million bonus or something.
Yeah, he had like 150 million bonus, which only just passed in the shareholders' minds. That was the vote, I think, earlier this year. Which, again, why did he get that bonus?
Yeah.
What did he do?
Then all this stuff comes out. How convenient.
I mean, yeah, I think it's... But the sad reality is that I don't think he is going to resign, and I think he's going to get away with it. He's done it for over 3 decades.
Yeah.
It's only
it feels
now,
like something kind of just switched around, maybe, and because it might have brought things more to the limelight.
I think all the developers standing up and like leaving and refusing to work on days, like fucking fair play to them for doing that, and more power to them. And the more they do that, the more likely something will change. But I can't imagine working in an environment that feels so unsafe that you when you go into work you're being like sort of betted on and if you're going to get slept with or not. Like, to me that seems crazy.
Welcome to about 50% of workplaces in the UK.
It's weird because I've never really experienced anything like or seen like anything like that. And a lot of the I guess a lot of the friends we share that are female, I think a couple of them we've heard stories off of, and it's like, it's nuts to think that that's an actual thing.
Yeah, that's just our innate white male privilege.
Yeah, just white male.
Not hearing about it.
Is. I mean, I'm the epitome of a white male ugh monkey brain.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to say something before, but forgot. Damn it.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope
Anyway.
something gets done. But we'll see. Only time will tell.
Shall we move on to the next item?
We can do. I've only got 2 things on my news list. So,
Well, I've just like briefly written down about Boris Johnson's little speech the other day
yeah.
about Peppa Pig, Peppa Pig World. Um, so he's at a conference about renewable energy and cars, electric cars, and he's like, "Oh, these cars aren't going to have the vroom 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 that you so love." Yes, then he lost his place in his speech, and he's like, "Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me," for about 10 minutes.
I'll forgive you when you fuck off and give the country over to someone competent. Then I'll forgive
And
you.
then he started going on about Peppa Pig World and like, "Oh, I'm surprised no one's ever been there. It's one of my favorite places." It's like, what the hell?
What? No one wants to know about your fucking pathetic life of cheating on your wife. Just get on with running the country.
Yeah, it's just a bit, unusual thing of eccentricity from Boris Johnson again, where it's not needed.
It's one of those things. It's like I've never seen incompetence like it. Yet he has all the power. I don't get it. I just don't understand. How? How is this? How have we done this to ourselves? How have we allowed this to happen?
Well, same reason. Every country votes things in because it's better than the other option.
The devil that you're familiar with. That's how the saying goes, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. When I look at anything in government now, I get sad because I want people who are competent to be running the country and doing a good job, not some fucking melon that thinks I can talk about Peppa Pig World. It's a wonderful place. It's my favorite place on earth. I love fucking Peppa, and it's. I don't want to, Boris. I don't want to know if you eat Peppa Pig's parents every night. That's not that. I don't care. I don't care. Like
Trying to appeal to all the young kids in there, of which there were none.
It's funny because the fact of the matter is that it works. Like, you're not wrong. He does try to appeal to younger people, and it works. That's why he's in charge. And it's like, can people start noticing how bad he is at his job, please?
Yeah, but he's funny.
But he makes Peppa Pig jokes, innit?
Bro.
No wonder this country's fucked.
So yeah, that's him.
He's just a prick.
Yeah.
I just don't want him in charge anymore.
Moving across the pond, I don't think this is really that big of a deal, but I was like, oh my god, when I saw it, but then I realized, oh, right, this is just normal. So Kamala Harris was like temporarily in charge of the country as president when Joe Biden had his colonoscopy, which was interesting, for about 20 minutes, and then he regained power. I was like, okay. So I think it's like normal procedure for the vice president to become the acting president whenever the president is undergoing surgery or like routine
it's
things.
Basically from the moment they're anesthetized to the moment they wake up.
Yeah, because there may be a terrorist attack in that time, or there may be something happening in that time. Yeah. But I always find that quite interesting. I suppose I was like, oh, that's interesting. The first woman Asian descent president.
For 20 minutes.
Yeah. Surely that's going to be a record somewhere or something. Yeah. But I mean, I suppose it's just protocol.
It's. I don't get it. It makes sense, like we say, if something happens during that time when, the president's under. But then again, I mean, even if there was like a big attack or something, do you think Biden would have the competency to fucking do something about it?
No, I don't know.
The man can barely fucking talk.
Yeah. His age is getting to be a little bit of a problem now.
It is, yes. Which is unfortunate, because that's something he can't really rectify.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But we'll see how it goes.
Interesting tidbit of information, though.
Yeah. I just saw the headline, Kamala sworn in as president. I was like, oh my god. But then, then I actually read the small print.
Yeah, you read the small print.
But I thought, okay, that's worthy of this podcast.
Oh, man.
But yes, do you have any other news items?
I have two, which interest me. And admittedly, one of them is COVID in Wales, so we'll get that one done first. But it's basically about what could happen if the cases get worse. Because currently, for those of you who are not aware, Wales, we're so great that we're the highest rising cases in the UK. Because, 10 out of 10, well done, Wales, we're always listening. And essentially, there's been this talk of, is Christmas going to be saved? Are we going to have to do what everyone had to do last year for Christmas? Or are we going to be able to continue on through? So, just as an example, the most recent case rate standards that were taken was 685.5 people infected per 100,000 people, which is the highest in the UK. I believe in England it's something like 480.5. It's a substantial difference.
Yeah.
We in Wales like to mingle. But, yeah, the hospitalizations aren't as high, though. So this is like the thing that people are pointing out. It's like, well, we don't need restrictions if people aren't getting hospitalized as much.
Yeah.
But in recent days, it's been going up again, as it does. So, obviously, there's a difference between Wales and England. In England, you have the passes just like we do now, but they're slightly stricter, I believe, in England. Like, I think it's LFT. I don't know what that fucking stands for, but yeah, that's like an extra, or lateral flow tests. You're forced to take them with your passes. In Wales, we don't have to do that. If we got a pass, we're basically exempt.
Yeah.
I think, like, fucking cinemas and stuff just got added as well to it, which is always fun.
I think it's like more strict, but there's fewer places that actually do it here. Because I know my mum went to the theatre not long ago. She had to do it, but they were just accepting your little COVID card that you get when you get jabbed as well. So
yeah,
it just seems a bit like optional here.
Yeah, we can't do
Almost.
that in Wales. I tried. And they were like, why don't you have a pass? And I went, I literally can't get one.
What is this? Is this not a pass?
I was like, yeah, is this not evidence? Is my lateral flow test from the last 48 hours not acceptable? No. It's like, okay, cool. Fuck you then.
No,
So-
you need to download the NHS app and put in all your details, and then
But I have. And that's I can't, but they were like, have you got any photo ID? And I was like, well, no, and I'm certainly not giving the government any more money because you're useless sacks of shit.
listen, I want to buy Twix.
And they're just like, then you can't have one. There's like no other way to get it. If you don't have a photo ID in Wales, you can't get a COVID pass. It's fucking stupid. But yeah, so basically Mark Drakeford, the First Minister of Wales, was basically asked if there could be a lockdown for Christmas. And what was said... Do it. What was said was, quote, we're not planning to have a Christmas sort of the sort that we had to endure last year, but taking actions, taking the actions we're talking about today will be critical to allowing us to be in that position, end quote. So a lot of people have sort of speculated that Wales tends to be fairly slow when it comes to, we sort of watch what everyone else does and then copies. Although that wasn't the case last year.
Yeah, apart from last year when they actually did the lockdown for Christmas, but before Christmas.
Essentially, what Plaid Cymru's said was, quote, the very high COVID case numbers in Wales should concern us all. Instead of calling the situations stable, we need to know that the Welsh Government has a plan to tackle this, limiting community transmission, reducing the number of hospitalisations, and migrating the alarming speed of the virus within classrooms, end quote.
Yeah.
Basically the same shit that they always talk about, and there's like this big debate because Wales doesn't really have a plan if COVID gets out of hand again. We have stable and unstable. That's literally it. That's all we have in Wales. Because, the Welsh. Who gives a fuck? So, that's how we treat it. And, yeah, right now we're in COVID stable, but there's no real, like point of action on when to start lockdowns and restrictions and things like that. They've said that they refuse to bring back, the furlough scheme, which ended on the 30th of September.
Right.
That's also partly to do with England and, Rishi Sunak not opening the Treasury again. He said, no, we're not doing it again. Fuck off.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he doesn't want to do a lockdown in Wales. But I've got a funny feeling that restrictions may be coming back very soon. And probably not just for Wales. But I don't know what's your thoughts on that.
I think it's just like they're all saying, oh, we're not going to rule out a lockdown or anything like that. But they really don't want to do it because they can't afford it, basically. So I don't think we're going to be locked down. I think maybe the more restrictions we brought back in, of which people won't follow anyway.
Yeah. Pretty normal.
But I think that's all they can do, because there'll be people who say, oh, well, we've gone through 2 years of this now. Yeah, where's the end point? Let's just all, say, screw it.
Yeah.
But
that's basically what happened, wasn't it? In all the other places that have recently had Because where's been locked down now? Because there was fourth lockdown in Austria, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is
Or
actually
Germany,
where one of my viewers lives. So I'm like, oh, please look after yourself. People are like rioting and going nuts. I don't know. I mean,
A lot of people are protesting getting the vaccine as well in like Italy and places like that.
yeah.
We don't want the vaccine.
It's like, well, take it or get locked down. Your choice.
Whereas we're like, we'll have the vaccine, but then we're not following any restrictions because COVID's gone now, right?
Well, this is the thing is, people have been fed misinformation about the vaccine. I think we've talked about this before about how it stops fucking transmission. It doesn't. A vaccine does not do that. The government has lied numerous times about this. If you take the vaccine, you won't spread it to your grandma. Not true. You can still spread it. It just means you're less likely to get seriously ill from it. Which is why a lot of people have just said, well, can we just have no... This is why people don't understand why there's still some restrictions in place, because they're like, well, I've had my vaccine. Why is that not enough? And it's like, well, it protects you, but it doesn't stop you from spreading it. That's why. But yeah, I think...
there's a reason people are having boosters as well.
Yeah, exactly. Which I've heard jack shit about. Once again, they've probably got my fucking number wrong and screwed it up, because great government. Great government knows what they're doing. Great government.
I think it's only over 40s here. Or maybe extremely clinically vulnerable people.
But then I'm meant to be in that fucking category because that's what they told me I was, and then they were like, "Well, sorry."
Yeah.
I don't care, but I don't know. It's a weird one for me because I've routinely said that we need to kind of go back to normality now. 2 years is enough. Clearly COVID is not going to go anywhere. We're not going to eradicate it like smallpox. It's not going to fucking disappear. Just make it a yearly vaccine thing that you do, just like the flu. There you go. That's all we can do. I do agree to some extent that lockdowns are just too much now, and I understand why people are just being like, nah, fuck off. But I think a little bit of restrictions here and there. If you're indoors, wear a mask. Yeah, that's okay. I'm all right with this. I think cinemas and nightclubs and pubs and stuff are exempt from that anyway. So what are you fucking complaining about?
Yeah.
It's just in a shop. That's
it.
I
think in cinemas you have to wear a mask till you sit down and then you can take it off. But it's just nightclubs and stuff. That's just that grey area. They're allowed to open now, and they don't really have to abide by any restrictions as far as I know.
Apart from COVID pass.
Yeah.
And that's how they're being controlled in Wales. It's like if you don't have a COVID pass, you don't get in. Most of them will not accept a lateral flow test done within the last 48 hours. So,
but a COVID pass, to get a COVID pass, you just have to submit your lateral flow results or something like that.
Yeah, it's weird because I did one. I scanned my lateral flow test, and I got basically all I got, and this is not fucking around. I checked the app, got fuck all from them. All I got was this. All I got for Christmas was this fucking my 2 front teeth. All I got was this shitty fucking text off of the NHS, and it basically just states that their test result is negative. This is valid for 48 hours, and that's it. The app didn't update. I got fuck all help from when I tried to ring up and sort out a pass because I couldn't do it myself. They were like, "Well, if you don't have any photo ID in Wales, it's not like England. You can't get one." Because in England, I understand you don't need photo ID for a COVID pass.
No, you just need to sign up for the NHS app, which requires you to take a picture of yourself or something. And then they've got to go, yeah, it's you.
Yeah, and Wales don't have this. You have to submit a photo ID and stuff, which I don't have. As someone who is disabled, I don't have fucking money to waste on, if I get a passport, pointless, because I'm not going anywhere. If I can't get a provisional driver's license, I fucking tried and they just would not give me it. They were like, "Can you talk to your specialist, please, about your condition?" When we weren't in COVID, it took me 8 months to just book an appointment with him. We're in COVID. When do you think I would? 2 years? It was just a fucking ball ache, so I couldn't get a provisional sorted, so I can't get one.
Looks like you're stuck in your house, unfortunately.
Exactly, and this is what is so fucking stupid about it. It's like people like me that are in this position that government don't give a shit about. They're like, well, you're not contributing anything. How do you fucking help? Who cares? That's the fucking annoyance of it. It's like, I try to follow the rules, but I literally can't this time.
Mm.
So it just all this stuff now is no longer available to me. I can't go in a pub with my cousin to have a pint or something because what if that pub only allows COVID passes?
Yeah.
I can't go in a cinema ever again. Like that. It's just how it is.
Till all this blows over.
Which it will.
Which it will.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong with it, but I literally cannot find a single fucking way to get around it. And when I rang them, they were no bloody help. They were like, "Well, we didn't make the rules. You just have to abide by them." I'm like, "Yes, that's what I'm doing, and you fuckers aren't helping me."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it was hard. I think this is the first time you'll hear me say this, but in England, you fucking did the COVID pass a lot better than we did. It was half-assed in this fucking country.
Yeah. It's a strange thing because you'd think the NHS would be kind of all the little countries. But apparently everyone wants to do it a bit differently, and Scotland has their own thing as well. So
They're like, I think, the most authoritarian.
yeah, their apps just don't work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fair
It
enough.
was like, yeet us, delete us. Great, thanks, laptop.
Yeah,
I do apologise,
silly thing.
but we are back now.
Is it all still recording and stuff?
Yes, thankfully.
Okay.
I thought that would have screwed it up, but no, apparently not.
Okay, that's good.
But yes, I do apologise for that.
that was just Skype saying stop fucking talking about coronavirus.
Yeah, it's
Move
like,
on
please.
to something else, please.
All right, I've only got one more news thing, but it's an interesting topic because it's one that we've talked about before. It's mainly in Wales, but it's talking about sex education and children learning basically their sex ed from what is considered a violent porn. Because, let's be fair, most porn is not conventional. What are you doing, step bro? You know, that kind of shit. It's not conventional. So, yeah, I've got a couple of little points that I'll read from this article, and I'll leave the article down below, of course, but just because I kind of wanted to talk about this, because I know we've discussed this before, but it just feels like, again, it's the government thing, they're clueless. So, children as young as 11 are learning about sex and pornography, and sexual health experts have said. I mean, I could have told you that fucking when I was 10. Like, computers were very different when I was 10.
Yeah.
They say they're seeing an increasing number of young people who believe sex needs to be violent as a result. Which, yeah, it's not taught properly in schools. That's why. I don't know how would you agree with that? Do you think in schools they're too fucking wish-washy about it?
I think they're too wish-washy, and they kind of just like they will get like complaints from certain people and then just enact them without having like a majority vote. And because I think it's a lot of people are up in arms about they're introducing like trans issues to kids who are like 4 and 5 and stuff, and are very kind of susceptible to taking in information.
Yeah.
Kind of a different topic, but
I mean,
similar
it's
things.
sort of under the same umbrella, though, isn't it?
Like
that should be under
gender and
sexual
like
health.
recognition and things that you should be learning about. But
Absolutely.
it's like almost kind of people are saying by teaching it, you're almost kind of promoting it, not like it's like something that shouldn't be promoted, but it's like introducing it to susceptible minds, I suppose.
Yeah. People believe if you tell like young kids, oh, you know, some people will feel like they are the opposite gender to what they are, and that is who they truly are.
It might plant a seed in their head which wouldn't normally be there.
Because they think kids are so stupid that they'd immediately go, oh, I can grow boobs.
Yeah, well, some do.
Well, some kids are on that list, but I think most children, especially as you get older, like maybe 4 or 5 is a bit young. Teenager age, yeah, absolutely teach it. But Dr. Kate Howells, oh my goodness, what are you doing, laptop? Is concerned that a lack of detail in plans for a new relationship and sex education curriculum could see inconsistent teaching. The Welsh Government said that online safety, consent and sexual health were all included in the proposals. So I didn't know this, but it's only now, or I say now, in 2020 I believe, that a new proposal for the curriculum of sexual health and stuff was actually advised in like 30 years.
Yeah.
Which is nuts to me. Like, no wonder my sex education was shit. You know.
Yeah. It's because I think when we were growing up, it was just a VHS video you'd be put on. And
Yeah. The
it's
birthing video.
it's like just rubbish.
Yeah.
It doesn't really tell you anything. It's boring. It's not interactive. Well, not that it should be interactive. But
Here, kids, these are things. This is the uvula.
Go nuts.
Everyone have a suckle. Fucking Jerry walks in. This is a cock. This is
Headmaster. But yeah, they just kind of shove a video screen in the room and then ran off, and then you watch it and then they run back in like, okay, that's done. Let's move on.
Any questions? No? Great, let's move on. Every child had their hand up. No, you don't have questions. Let's leave it there.
Any questions? Fucking... It's dark in here. Oh no.
So stupid. But this is the crazy aspect to this, right? If approved in the Senate in December, so it's only being voted on in December, details of the RSE code will be published in January. It would then be introduced into schools in September next year. Mandatory learning for all pupils aged 3 to 16. But here's the thing. Teachers aren't going to teach this. What I don't know what it is, but in the UK, apparently people just don't like talking about sex. It's a weird like, I've brought it up in front of friends before and they go, ooh, you know, it's... Why in the UK are we so scared to talk about something that is inevitably going to happen?
Mm.
Why? I don't get. It's better than going online.
It's important to talk about at certain stages.
It's like, you know, I've never understood it because I guess the way my mum raised me was that she didn't really hide anything from me. You know, if I found something, she would explain it to me. So like, I think when I got to like 14 or 15, she had the chat with me about, right, this is how it works. Not like, you know, she didn't show me diagrams and shit, but she just sat me down and was like, this is
family album.
This is the home video that was made. Yeah, no, she just sort of explained to me, you know, why it happens, why people do it, and she didn't fucking sugarcoat. She went, some people just fuck for the case that they want to. You know, she wasn't like, it's a sacred thing that people do, because let's be real, it isn't. In some aspects, it is, but there's also the other side of sex. So, but yeah, so Dr. Howell's an associate specialist in sexual health working in Bridgend, Swansea, Neath Port Talbot, believes the biggest change in teaching young people about sex education is access to digital devices. Fair point. Quote, pornography is often only 1 or 2 clicks away, she said. For those as young as 10 or 11, it might be their first sexual experience. I can guarantee this because that was mine. First time I saw anything on sex was online in a video. And I was quite surprised that she liked to be choked. I thought that was a violent thing. Why is that a thing that women like?
Yeah.
And that's why it's so dangerous. Not all women like it.
No.
Like, you know, you could genuinely hurt someone, like, you know, or traumatize them. Either one. Where is the next quote that I wanted? Yeah, here we go. So, this is something that I wanted to ask you on because apparently they asked like kids between the ages of 11 and 13. Where is it? I'm trying to find it because I don't want to get this wrong because it is genuinely an interesting statistic that they had. Where have you gone, sir? I'm sure I'll find it. But yeah, there's a 16-year-old said she was worried she had become addicted to porn after watching it every night since someone dared her to watch it in year 7. Addicted to porn at the age of 16. That's an interesting life to lead.
Yeah.
Quote, we are seeing more young people think that sex needs to be violent. This is the Dr. Howells, person who works with children and stuff. It's often exaggerated and unrealistic and could have a massive detrimental effect on young people if it isn't addressed. I agree.
Yeah.
Have you noticed how rape cases and stuff have gone up in the last few years?
Yeah.
I think it's... I mean, we've spoken about this before numerous times. Like, sex should be... the reason it's so taboo is because people don't fucking get educated on it in school. Therefore, people are too nervous to talk about it and whatever. I don't get it.
Yeah. And they need to like lay the groundwork before kids discover it themselves. Like they need to kind of go, right, well, this is the whole spectrum of, ideas. Some of them, fall under the category of fetish or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, look, you're going to go online, you kids, I know you're going to go home and Google dick and tits and stuff. I know you're going to, and you're inevitably going to come across a thing we like to call the hub.
Yeah.
And there is many, many videos here.
Yeah. And it's all about consent as well. It should be taught more as well.
Yeah, consent is something that's like, it's treated as if it's an automatic thing that you know. And it isn't. It isn't. And I don't know, it's fucking ridiculous to me that it's treated in that aspect.
Yeah.
Sophie Whitehead, a former secondary school teacher who now works with the School of Sexuality Education, helps provide in-school workshops across Wales, England, and Scotland about sexual health, pornography, and positive relationships. She said, "We teach the differences between what they see in porn and what they can expect in their own experiences."
Yeah, that's good.
Which is, excellent. It's just, I wish this was more common. Especially in my fucking childhood. I would have fucking loved to have had something like that. But, there we are. Quote, in the last couple of years, there's been probably an increase in experiences of receiving unsolicited, explicit pictures, she added. We've started having more conversations about how that works and work with schools on how they approach it. Yeah, because this is something that's never talked about. Like, a lot of men just go, that'll be good enough. And it's like, women are sitting there like, how do I respond?
That's put me right off my bagel.
Yeah, that's nope. I don't want my sausage roll anymore. It's. I'm behind this. I think it's just shocking to me that it's taken the government this long to work out. Maybe we're doing something wrong here.
Yeah. All the charities and organisations that deal with like rape or harassment or anything like that, they're always like, it needs to go back to school. It needs to be implanted in the brains of kids. What is right and what is wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel very sort of.
For some kids, it's obvious, but for some others, it's not.
I think that's the thing as well. When you're a kid, you don't understand the difference between right and wrong and empathy and what's acceptable and what isn't, and yet they're never taught what's good and what's not good.
Cold.
Puppy.
Yes, one of the puppies is back.
But
yes.
That is the topic.
That was a lengthy news section.
It was a very lengthy news one. But now let's go on to the good shit. Let's go into some films.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some stuff we've been watching. And one thing that I know we've both been watching is Tiger King 2.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, the Tiger King 2 is out. How did you feel about it compared to the first one? Do you think it was as good, or if it was maybe...
I think it was... Maybe it shouldn't have been called Tiger King 2. I kind of feel
1.5.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't about... If you go into it thinking you're going to see more Joe Exotic, don't watch it, because you're not going to see any Joe Exotic.
He's behind bars.
You barely see anything about him. But you learn more about Jeff Lowe, and obviously his partner. Apparently she loves sitting around in lingerie in the background.
Yeah.
You learn more about Tim Stark, an interesting character to say the least.
Yeah, he kind of just glanced over him in the first season, but you learn more in detail about him.
I hope he gets put behind bars, the prick. But
I know.
Yeah.
He makes the rest of them look like saints.
Literally, yeah, it's disgusting. But yeah, it's an interesting series. I'll give them that. They did a fairly good job with it. But
yeah. The first episode was more like just aftermath of the first Tiger King and how famous it made him, and like how Donald Trump even talked about it and it introduced some of it. Well, it recalled some of the cast who were in the first one, had their opinions and stuff. And he was like, he would love this, but he hasn't even seen the show still. I guess they're not allowed that privilege in prison. But yeah, then the next two episodes were all about Carol Baskin and her husband Don, and like, did she kill him? But I think that's kind of a good continuation of the story with that, because I think a lot of people will be thinking that she didn't kill him personally, but maybe she had something to do with it or something. It's some dodgy deals going on.
Yeah,
But,
I think she definitely had something to do with his death.
yeah,
But whether or not
his whole like doings in was it Cuba or something?
Yeah, Cuba and well, because there was that FBI investigation that said that he was still alive as well,
Yeah,
which is a bit. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I don't trust governments as it is, so I mean, you know.
but the fact that he was kind of soliciting young girls for sex and stuff as well. Yeah, that whole side of him makes you think.
Good riddance.
Okay, Carol, we'll let you off with that one.
I don't like you, Carol. You're a bitch, but you're just as bad as the rest of them. But if you kill Don, more power to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think she like actually. Well, she does abuse the animals by keeping them in cages, but she doesn't like beat them and like I don't know,
and stuff.
kill them, declaw them.
Yeah, I mean.
So she's kind of still like doing the same thing that the others are doing, but kind of in a more nicely wrapped package, I suppose.
With the bone top, but she's just as bad. She keeps them in cages. She keeps them. She doesn't give them the freedom they need. And her excuse is, "Well, I can't put them into nature anymore." Yes, you can. Yes, you fucking can. You just make a lot of money off of it, so that's why you do it. You know, don't try and hide and make yourself a fucking saint when you're literally doing what Joe Exotic, what Tim Stark, what Jeff Lowe have all done.
Yeah, and it was said we saw at the end that some of the animals from Tim Stark's and Joe Exotic zoos were in this other sanctuary, which was a lot better than the other ones. But even they said, well, you know, it's still not the right place for a tiger or a lion to be. But I mean, it's just
space.
Better than
But they could like
and
run
seeing
around.
them running as well. Like that was like, oh, the animals are running again.
Yeah, they could actually run around and they had like a massive amount of space. But even they admit they were like, yeah, this is still not good because, you know, they should be in the wild.
Yeah.
But these ones are just so old now and they are declawed and they have so many disadvantages that putting them in the wild would probably kill them. So this is what we fucking left to. But
But yeah, Tim Stark. So that was what the next two episodes are about, and the whole like the police raiding his zoo and taking away the animals, and how he's all bark no bite, which is what the episodes were called. Pretty funny.
Yeah, actually, I like some of the puns that they had for the episode names.
Yeah,
Stark or even mad.
Yeah. So he was obviously quite a character. He believed that, you know, if he owned the lions and tigers, they were his property and he was free to do what he wished with them. And if they were to be taken away, he'd rather kill them all because no one's taking his tigers. And he's got an alternate personality called Sue as well, which is interesting.
I love Johnny Cash, but he ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Ugh.
How he is able to get away with a lot of the stuff he was able to get away with, and how he just openly calls reporters, you know, the C word in front of, you know, barristers and whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just ridiculous. And I think it like summed it up when he was like driving away from the zoo, having to be raided, and then he's like, "Where's that fat bitch reporter?"
Yeah.
And then like she like just basically like destroyed him, and then he drove off, and then he was like reversing back. Anyone else want to speak to me?
Yeah,
like he wanted to be in the limelight.
It's quite sad, really, when you think about it, because when they all left him and then went off to do their reports, he like reverses back into it to try and get more. It's like he just wants attention.
Yeah.
And the fucking psychoanalyst in me is like looking at him and being like, this guy just does this just all for attention. He acts like a prick just to get attention. Because again, any attention is good attention. So
yeah,
but yeah,
someone's obviously you know given him a complex in life where you know do dastardly, disgraceful things and then you'll get attention. But
he needs to be in jail though.
Oh yeah,
he's killed more animals than Joe, and that's fucking impressive.
Yeah. We didn't hear anything about that other guy who was like riding elephants and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, he's not in this series.
He was not in that one. Obviously, must have like had some legal things to say.
Yeah, maybe.
I know he didn't really like being in the or how he was portrayed in the first one, which you know I'm surprised the rest of them did.
Well, I think Jeff Lowe said that they weren't happy about it because they
yeah,
were
but it also made them a lot of money.
yeah, because they then just took photos all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know, it's Jeff Lowe and his wife.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know. There's something. It's ironic that he's done a 180. No, he's like, oh, I'm all on Joe's side.
Team Joe.
But then you've got the Hitman for Hire, or Hitman,
Yeah.
like saying that Jeff set Joe up. What's kind of your take on all of that?
Yeah, I think I kind of believe a lot of what the Hitman was
I
saying.
can't remember. I think it's Alan Glover. Is that his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
Alan.
You were saying Donald Glover, but that's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe what he was saying because he was kind of like, he just like seemed like a destroyed human. He obviously admitted to what he was doing and like said I should be in jail as well. So it's kind of nice to hear that like he's not lying and just like making stuff up and switching sides with everyone else. He basically understands that all of them are disgraceful, including him.
Yeah.
So I kind of believe what he says, that there was a plot to kill Carol and there's a plot to kill Joe.
I think
Jeff Lowe was behind it as well.
I think the only thing that I was a little bit fucking skeptical on was the end of the series. You know, when they go with Alan to find that wire, and it's just, I don't know. It seems very Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, how ironic! After all this time, it's still there. Like,
yeah.
I don't think the police will take that as actual evidence. You know.
I know. It's like kind of bouncing the line between documentary and mockumentary, because with how it's kind of shot and portrayed. Because if this was a mockumentary, people would be like, "Oh, it's amazing," but this is actually real. Like, I can't believe people are like this, and they are like little actors in their own Hollywood production.
Yeah,
that's how laughable it is, like a playground.
It is nuts, but all of them need to be in jail. And as for Jeff Lowe, it's ironic that he calls out Alan Glover at the beginning of the second series, saying, "Oh, well, you're going to trust a guy that was DUI'd, and then he gets DUI'd like not that long later." So you're like, you're just a hypocrite, Jeff. No, you're just all fucking bark and no bite.
Yeah.
Talk a lot of fucking I'm great shit, but you're just a scam artist that likes to fucking leech off of people.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Jeff is to the bone.
Yeah.
It's
a leech.
Well, hopefully they will all get their comeuppance eventually, and we'll get a Tiger King 3.
I don't know if there should be. I think it's just fucking take it to court already. Stop fucking around making interviews and documentaries. Clearly there are people here that need to be in jail, so fucking get on with it,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's entertaining to watch, but what's more important, making a shitty documentary or
justice?
Justice.
But even though the lawyers were like comedic caricatures, and the psychic, which was with the family.
Interesting thing though, when they thought they were going to get that pardon, I actually remember a news article about that fucking limo that they had for it. I remembered that. I was like, oh yeah, fucking hell.
And they were at the protests with the march on the Capitol.
Donald.
Obviously, people weren't a fan of them there, but then, there was a lot of interesting groups there.
A lot of interesting assholes there. Oh, they stole it. No, they didn't, you fucking morons.
Yeah.
Fucking truth. What those shit.
Yeah, did you believe the psychic in the series?
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, What a load of shit. And the thing is, I do believe there are mediums out there that are real. But 99% of them are fucking bullshit and feed off people like leeches. It's like how you were sitting there going, I've been talking about chicken all day. Did you see the chicken box? How do you know that was
like
chicken?
Validating that everything else he says is true.
Fuck off. Like, what a load of... You just wanted your 5 minutes of fame. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, where's the evidence that you've helped police? Like, what a load of shit.
I couldn't really tell if one of the daughters was like believing him or just like, I really want to get this over with. But she was very close with him.
Yeah, I think it's sad because I think they just want answers about what happened to their dad, and then people like this come in and just like a leech, Just fucking, yeah. Because you got to think how much did they have to pay him for him to come out and do that.
Mm.
And a lot of them are like leeches. I believe in mediums, but they are fucking few and far between.
Yeah.
Because it's just these generic statements that they put out, like, oh yeah, this is his last resting place. Yeah, the information actually suggests that might be one of the locations he was killed in.
Yeah.
And it's ironic, you've gone to one location, and oh, how convenient, the first one is where he is.
And then, like, he's end up being the one who needs to be consoled because he feels sick.
It's like, oh, get fucked.
I know.
Like,
Massive performance.
yeah,
Scam.
it was. It was just a massive performance and an utter load of bullshit.
Yeah.
It angered me because I want this family to get answers, and I was like, this guy is just fucking playing you. Like,
Yeah.
And it's so obvious as well. You don't need to be able to read facial expressions for that shit. You can see it in his face. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to be sick. That it's a bad juju here. Look, he's being sick, pointing at him. It's like,
Yeah. Oh my god.
how much more staged could you be?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's like a bit like he was looking out of the water, and that's the last thing he saw because he was attacked from behind. Wow, if he was killed, what a convenient way to do it.
No, attack from behind.
A generic statement. Oh, there, this is his last resting place. No, it isn't, because
Yeah.
there was a bunch of fucking divers that have already got in there. Although, I'll be honest, those divers did not look like professional divers.
Volunteers, I think.
Yeah, and it's like, you're not professionals. Like, I appreciate this guy Ripper, whoever the fuck he is trying to get answers. You're not a professional. No matter how much you like to treat yourself like one, you fucking ain't one.
Yeah.
So, like, let the fucking police do their job. And I'm someone that thinks police are corrupt as fuck still. But just let them do their fucking job,
Yeah. It's interesting how they kind of include a lot. Netflix these days seem to include a lot of YouTube kind of theorists, and
Yeah.
I think they're kind of like more entertaining to watch than actual experts, and probably cheaper as well.
Yeah. They do
So
it for free.
interesting how they include a lot of that thing.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed very contrived to me, and it felt very unfair to Don's family.
Yeah.
I mean, Don was a scumbag. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel sorry for him, but
But they still deserve answers, don't they?
exactly, he was still their father, ex-husband. They still deserve an answer as to what happened.
Yeah, but no one can comment because it's still an active case.
Yeah, and I get that, but a lot of the times, if you look at the fucking cop who they're talking to, or the detective that they're talking to, just learn how to read basic facial expressions. There's a lot that they know, and there's a lot that he believes, but obviously he's trying to, stay unbiased. But it's like, he's not very good at hiding it. But yeah, anything else you've watched, good stuff?
Yes, I decided to give Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings a go the other night.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good film, actually. Refreshing to kind of go back to Marvel's roots and kind of have a nice, by-the-book Marvel story.
Action-packed.
Yeah, action-packed and, funny, and lots of mythical beasts in there. And it's nice to get some, like, Asian representation as well, like, more so than other films. But yeah, it was a good film. I recommend it. It's very, very safe and by the book. Didn't really do anything that wasn't cliche, but it's still a good film.
Yeah.
There's some really good sequences in there with the action.
I do want to watch. I am catching up slowly with Marvel stuff, so
Yeah.
I'll get there.
I started on well, I mean, maybe you have an anime section later, which I could, actually contribute to. But
Do I have an anime? Oh well, I guess I could. There's two animes I could talk about. One
yeah,
of them is questionable, but sure. Yeah, I mean.
Well, we'll move on to the anime section then.
Let's just let's just talk the animes. Let's go.
Well, I started watching a series called Demon Slayer, it's very good. It's kind of my first foray into the anime universe, apart from like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and stuff like that, when I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. Watching it with the dubs, and a lot of people are like, you can't watch it with dubs. You have to watch it with subtitles.
No one cares. Just watch it how you want to watch it.
I think if as long as you get the story and
you can have your opinion on it or whatever, but watch it however you want to watch it at the end of the day.
yeah, and the acting it's like okay, obviously it's a bit different than what you're used to in Western society, but it's once you get used to it, it's very good. It's funny, it's emotional, it's action packed as well. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It feels like a video game.
I have heard a lot of good stuff about Demon Slayer, and I know the Demon Slayer game is on sale currently. So I'm like, ooh, maybe I should.
Yeah, and I know there's a second season coming soon, so everyone's like, it's a perfect time to watch it.
I'm like, I don't like diving into like super popular mainstream ones straight away because I tend to find that you're gonna get stuff spoiled a lot quicker.
Yeah,
but I do enjoy the animes.
Yeah,
but yeah. No, I mean, definitely. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, and it's nice that because for the longest time, I've been telling you like, watch an anime, and you're like, oh, but it's not my thing.
Yeah,
you reminded me of me.
Yeah.
But it's like finding that right one to start.
Yeah,
with,
just need to like kind of slowly get into it. It's kind of a slow sprint.
Yeah, it's like it's a very
couple of episodes in.
Niche thing. You have to find ones that you like as well. Like you can't just dive into everything and.
Yeah, because then you'll find one that puts you off, and then
it's like not interested anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, what anime have you been watching, fellow anime expert?
I'm not really an expert, but I so right, there's this really controversial anime, and any anime people out there who do watch anime, you'll probably know about this. I highly recommend if you don't watch anime and you're not used to it, do not watch this anime. It is fucking traumatizing, and they really, really push that line. But it's not a hentai. I want to make that clear now. But it is disturbing. It's called Redo of a Healer. That's the English translation. It isn't dubbed. I believe it might be getting a dub. I can't believe if they do that. I highly doubt they will. But yeah, so it's on sub. I've only watched 2 episodes and I'm traumatized. Like, it's so disturbing. Like, it is the writer clearly to Redo of a Healer needs help. Like, that disturbing. So, basic plot story is this guy is a healer. It's kind of like an RPG kind of world, medieval stuff. He's a healer, but every time he heals someone, he sees that person's entire life, including all their trauma and everything. So he kind of, has a seizure after it and is traumatized by it himself. Something happens where he gets sent back through time, back to like a restart button. And the nobles that he works for basically have just tortured him, got him addicted to drugs and stuff like that to sort of force him into being a healer, even though he doesn't want to do it. Let's just say when he gets sent back in time, he sort of prepares himself for all of this. And there are some scenes. Very disturbing and traumatizing scenes. And I'm not fucking around when I say that. It is utterly abhorrent.
Yeah.
Do I think it should be... It is a banned, I believe, hentai... classed as a banned hentai in some places. I don't... at least from what I have seen, there is nothing super... there are scenes that could class it as that, but
yeah.
You don't really see anything down there. You know what I mean? Like, you don't actually physically see anything. But there's enough. And it is utterly... it's disgusting. It is fucking awful. I can handle, like, on the edge kind of shit because I'm disgusting myself. But this is, like, another fucking level of just... The writer clearly has some fucking... Either he has some disturbing kinks or he has got issues. Like, legit. So that I won't say any more on it because it's one of those animes. The video will probably get slapped because it's that bad. So yeah, if you're not a regular anime watcher, you wouldn't have heard of it anyway. But don't go watch it.
Yeah.
If you are a seasoned anime watcher and you haven't seen it yet, and you're like, maybe I should. Don't. Fucking don't. Stay away.
Yeah. It's interesting subgenre of anime.
Yeah. It's not. Just don't torture yourself with it. I will finish it and let you know what happens, but 2 episodes in, and I am
Yeah.
already like, I don't really want to.
I mean, I know a lot of them have dark themes, but this one's taking a piss.
There are some like, I like the dark side, like sort of dark themed animes that go.
I think most animes do, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of them have those moments where it's like it genuinely brings like the fucking tone down. It's like, oh shit, a brick. But this is on another level. It is deeply disturbing. So, yeah, I mean, watch at your own fucking discourse. But yeah, I won't say any more on that one. But yeah.
So we'll accept your non-recommendation for that.
Don't go there. But yeah, anything else that you've been watching, sir?
I just realised I didn't actually give like a little synopsis of Demon Slayer, so I'll just quickly do that.
Yeah,
Basically, it's you're following the main character Tanjiro, and his family is basically killed by the demons.
Oh, what? Whoop, what? Why? No, stop this. Hold on, let me just sort out the audio, because it's being a dick. Again. Why do you do... Okay, there you go.
Okay.
There we are. Much better. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So yeah, following the main character Tanjiro, his family is killed by demons, but his sister survives. But she is a demon herself. She's a different kind of demon, though. Like, I don't know what's going on with her. So he basically carries her around in his backpack and becomes a demon slayer himself to kind of get to the truth and maybe try and cure her, find a cure at some point. That's basically the synopsis of it. And meeting a lot of demons, and demons are quite funny actually. They're not what you're just like, your average creepy villains. Some of them are like, what?
Not your average creepy villains.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good series so far. I'm only 5 episodes in, but a lot of people say it just gets better and better. So, I'll wait that. What else? This isn't exactly a film, but we don't really have a comic section. I forgot to mention this one the other week, but I read a Batman comic called The Foundation. It's like kind of a crossover between Fortnite and Batman, which is quite an interesting thing to do. Cause like initially you hear about it, you're like, oh, here we go, they're going into the popular territory, But it is actually quite well thought out comic. It's quite good, like how it introduced like things you may not have seen or heard of before, and the kind of the Fortnite main superhero person, Foundation and Batman working together. And there's the Flash in there, there's Wonder Woman, there's but the Batman who laughs. There's a lot of characters in there. You're like, this is a proper comic. Initially, I only bought it for the Batman skin, of course, but I was pleasantly surprised by the comic. So
yeah,
I recommend it to people who are interested in DC comics, and don't be put off by the fact that it's infused with Fortnite, because it is quite good.
Yeah, don't be put off by the fact that it's like a crossover thing.
Yeah,
it's still good.
It's still good. It's still good.
Oh,
in fact, some may argue maybe even better.
Fair dues.
But if you do like Fortnite and you're interested, or you may not be interested in comics, then I'd recommend it as well.
Yeah.
Maybe get you into them.
Maybe.
Yes. Anything else you have watched, good sir?
So I've just started watching through Loki. I'm halfway through it now.
Oh, yeah.
So far, I like it, but I can see why people were like, eh. Like not so much a fan of it. But I am enjoying it so far. I'm hoping to get it done either by the end of tomorrow or Friday. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I think I'm on like episode 4 or something. I've been enjoying it too, but it's not one of them where as soon as I finish watching it, I'm like, must watch the next episode. I'm just like, okay, this is kind of Doctor Who, but it's okay. It's good. It's Marvel. A lot of people think it's the best Marvel series they've done so far. And that kind of puts a preconceived idea in your mind, and you're like, oh, I'm going to not like this one, which may be my case. But yeah, it is good, I've got to admit.
I don't know if I'd say it was the best series so far. I enjoyed Winter Soldier and Falcon a bit more.
Yeah.
Or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't know why I keep getting that name.
Yeah, I would say I enjoyed that one more so far, but I've not finished this one, so I can't really.
I know my favourite episode is going to be 6 because it has the abandoned, or there's like that myth ship where the crew got absorbed into the ship, and it's like a horror tale when they try to like teleport a ship and stuff. It's like a story essentially, but apparently it was a real experiment that was tried on a ship. I don't know. But yeah, I apparently that makes an appearance, so I'm like, oh, I'm kind of interested in that.
I think I may have got to that stage. Maybe I've only got like one episode left.
Maybe. Of course, been continuing with Squid Game, slowly getting through it. I find that I'm enjoying it more by watching one episode and letting that sinking before I like binge another one. I feel like if I binged it, I'd miss stuff.
Get the tissues out for episode 6, I think. Gabangle.
I've just found out the old guy clearly has dementia or Alzheimer's because he just doesn't remember anything now and he's forgetting everything. It's like, oh. And then he's got really ill, so now he's like put the towel on his head and it's like, oh no, I like him.
Know. It gets more heartbreaking as it goes on. There's less of them and you care about them more.
Yeah.
But there is comic relief in there as well with the kind of gang leader guy and the woman who's like wants to be on his side.
Oh,
but then it's like a love-hate relationship.
It's giving me a fucking headache. Great acting, by the way, because she makes me hate her very much.
It's hilarious towards the end.
But yeah, it's getting very interesting, to say the least.
Mm.
I watched the new film Red Notice with Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot. Your typical spy action flick.
Netflix. Belongs on Netflix film.
Yeah, but it is the first it's the highest, what was it, like the most grossed Netflix film, and they also had like a short cinema run, which was never been done, which is interesting. But I think Netflix put the most money they've ever put into any project into this, so I think that's probably why they tried to push it a little bit more.
Netflix we put too much into this. It is getting us into the
but it is a good film. It's a good turn you off, mindless spy film kind of.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying they were surprised by the twist in the end. I wasn't really that surprised. I won't spoil anything, but I would say go and watch it. Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. Dwayne Johnson is Dwayne Johnson. Gal Gadot is Gal Gadot. There you go. That's it's it's really not that amazing, but like Ryan Reynolds basically plays every character he's ever played. And Dwayne Johnson plays pretty much every spy character he's ever played. So there you go.
It's one like maybe if I'm on a Friday night really bored or something, I'll watch it. But maybe
it's a mindless turn your brain off kind of one.
Popcorn flick.
Also started watching through Black Summer, which was like an older kind of series that Netflix did, which was like a zombie one. Been interesting so far. I recommend so far.
Okay.
I've been watching through Lie to Me, obviously my favourite series in the world. Go check it out if you haven't. Talked about it before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that one. And the last thing is a show called Oat Studio, which is not an actual show. It is like a anthology series, kind of similar to Love, Hate and Robots. It's basically a YouTube channel. I looked it up, and they started out as a YouTube channel, and they're like an entire sort of studio that does CGI and special effects. And they have their own series now on Netflix, and it's actually very cool. They had like Sigourney Weaver's in the first one, which is pretty impressive. It's interesting. Loads of little short stories kind of thing. I recommend it. It's a good fun one. There's one of God being a dick to the world, which is actually really funny. So I recommend it. A lot of short episodes that are only like 5-10 minutes long. So go for it. Check it out. It's a very good one.
Ad break ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've also been watching Lost as well. Can't forget that one. New twists and turns in season 3.
Ooh. Interesting.
No comment on that one. Okay.
No, wait. What one was it again?
I said Lost as well.
Oh, well, yeah, Lost. I mean, we've got a lot more to cover with that as well, though, haven't we?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're getting through it, though. We're almost done with season 3.
Lots of it's getting very interesting now.
It's getting more interesting as time goes on.
I mean, I have seen it before, but I'm keeping the illusion up.
Yeah. For those of you who are not aware, Sean is a massive fan of Lost, so he's trying to keep things on the down low.
Trying to make it seem like I'm watching it for the first time, but I'm not. But every time I watch it, it's always like nice to go back, and it does feel like you're kind of watching it for the first time because it's still thrilling as ever.
Well, there's so many twists and turns. I'd be surprised if you could remember everything. Even if you've watched it numerous times, I feel like there's going to be stuff that you forget.
Yeah, definitely. One like one episode you were thinking, oh, that character's certainly evil, and she's got bad intentions or whatever. Then the next episode you're like, okay, maybe she's good again. The next episode, okay, she's bad. Okay, she's good. And then eventually you'll find out. But yeah, there's a lot of kind of red herrings that the show throws at you as well.
Oh, I know. There's only one character I would really say that's predictable, and that's because she keeps jumping back and forth to who she loves. But other than that, everything's pretty fucking
Claire going for a walk and somehow drowning.
Yeah, how you don't know the difference between walking and drowning. Oh, this is why you need to watch Lost if you haven't watched it. Take it from someone that never watched it before and is now hooked. But yeah, any more films or anything?
That is it for films and TV shows, I think.
Alright, on to games then.
Games!
Which is an interesting one. So we've been playing Bloodborne.
Oh, yeah.
Which has been an interesting journey. Because I haven't played it for a long time. So
yeah, neither have I.
It was very cool to kind of go back to it and help out our new friend.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's interesting to kind of continue with it after so long. I think it's been like over a year and a half or something since I played it last. And yeah, although the next boss I'm not looking forward to, because it's going to be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, that boss is a tricky one. I don't know how the hell I did it on my own, but...
Yeah, God knows. Hopefully we can get through it.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll get it.
On everyone's accounts.
Yeah. Obviously, Breakpoint. I've been on and off on that for the last couple of weeks. I haven't played it for a while though, so we need to go back on that at some point as well.
Yeah, I was really enthusiastic about it when it had the update, but I was kind of like just waiting because I didn't really want to do anything on it too much in case we played together. But then it's kind of been quite a while now, and like Breakpoint is dwindling.
I mean, if you want to jump on whenever you do, sir, jump on it. I'm just unfortunately very busy, so it's like today though. Hopefully, we'll get at some point we'll be able to jump on and enjoy a little bit of it as well. Some Lost.
Yeah. I've been doing some Wildlands, which is the prequel to Breakpoint. So, been trying to get every single bloody collectible, and maybe aiming for that platinum, but it's just still a long road ahead. It's tedious.
A little tedious.
Yeah, you have to be doing something else at the same time.
Yeah. That's kind of what I do with those games. I just sort of switch off or put like a video on in the background or something,
Yeah.
A Plague Tale: Innocence. I am currently 5 chapters in. So far, that little boy is annoying the shit out of me. Hugo is a little shit. And there have been many times where I've been utterly tempted to throw the sling at him. But yeah, no, it's a good story. I'm enjoying it. It's quite it's dark as fuck. But I feel like there's when I first went into it, my understanding of it was, it's going to be the plague time. That's why there's all the rats. But clearly, there's something more going on here. So it's definitely dragged me in and keeping me interested.
Yeah, just wait till you get to the end. You're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. I'm playing through it. So. I'm getting through it slowly. Me and my mum are playing through it together, so it's been an interesting journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, dipped back into Marvel Spider-Man. Currently playing through that on stream, which is a fun one. You can't go wrong with that. I genuinely am so pumped for the next Spider-Man game that they're doing, Insomniac and Wolverine, of course. Yeah. So very very excited for those two.
You're gonna have Spider-Man and Miles working together, and there's Venom in there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'm very very excited about it.
They set it up very well.
Yeah, I hope they continue with this because Insomniac are doing very very well with creating this little universe that they've created. So super excited.
They can do no wrong.
Well, until they do. We'll see. Hopefully they keep this good streak going.
Yeah.
And then the last one that I've got is that I platinumed Control on PS4, and now I'm going for the platinum on the PS5 version as well, just to get it out of the way. It's an easy platinum for anyone that's interested. So it's just a bit fucking tedious.
Yeah. I mean, I played through the story. I did enjoy the gameplay elements and some of the story, but I just didn't have any will or motivation to do the platinum.
The story to it is fucking garbage, in my opinion. Anyway, like it's just too much fucking. Well, let's keep it hidden. It's like, oh no, You need a little bit of story being told, otherwise, fuck's the point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a fucking odd one to me. Gameplay great, everything else poo.
Yeah, it's just a bit too pretentious with the story, I think. But
also, it ran like shit on PS4.
Yeah, I can't imagine I haven't played it on PS4, but I can't imagine 30 frames would do to a game like that.
Yeah, it's not good. It runs like shit. It stutters all the time. It's just badly optimized on PS4. On PS5, it's great. It's smooth as fuck, but PS4 is garbage.
Yeah,
and I fucking platinumed it on PS4. I don't know how. the second time through on PS5, I am cheesing it. I just want to make that clear. I'm using the one-shot kill and fucking all that shit because it doesn't affect the trophies. So
yeah, I didn't realize that was a thing. So maybe I'll go back to it.
Yeah, just play it on your PS5. Fucking do that. It's easier. But yeah, that is me. Anything you've been doing this week, good sir?
Battlefield 2042, I've not played, but yeah, it's gone. It's a bit buggy, and yeah, I think the EA is aware of it, and they're just like, oh, and DICE. It's like, I think it's the same problem with every Battlefield that releases. They kind of release it too early, and it's like full of bugs when it's released in the wild, and yeah, people are a bit disappointed. But my friend was playing it last night, and I was watching him, and he seemed to be enjoying it. It's like it just goes to show what the vocal minority is saying. It doesn't always translate to what your average Joe is playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's enjoying it. So more hats off to him.
More power to you, sir.
I think we were going to go over a bit of the Golden Joystick?
Golden Joystick Awards for 2021. So I've never really taken an interest into this stuff. I tend to find that a lot of the games that get put up are basically sort of the ones you'd expect. So we'll go over them and kind of discuss what we think, if we can. But best storytelling went to Life is Strange True Colors. I've not played it.
The Life is Strange, I've played the first season. It's a very good story. So I can see why.
Yeah, I can see why that's probably got it.
Yeah.
Best multiplayer game, It Takes Two. Do you know what? I could agree with that. It Takes Two is a very unique game.
I'd say, I don't know, like multiplayer and co-op these days, I'd say they're kind of different. So I'd say definitely the best co-op game, but I'm not sure about multiplayer. But yeah, I mean, it just definitely deserves that title. It's
definitely, it did something different. It's just a shame Take-Two like to slap down all the mods and stuff for, GTAs, and then they fuck up porting them over. But, it's fine. Best audio went to Resi 8. I mean, I've yet to play through it, so I can't really comment. Okay. Best visual design, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I mean, off of what I've seen, the game looks pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, everyone's saying it's the only PS5 game that actually looks like a PS5 game.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know. I haven't played it yet.
So I can see why that's got that.
Yeah, I mean, it has got a lot of good press, hasn't it?
Probably between that and Demon's Souls.
Yeah, true. Best game expansion was the Ghost of Tsushima expansion. I've heard a lot of good stuff about this game. Like, so much good stuff, and I've still not played it.
Everyone raves about it. I can see why. Yeah. Nothing is surprising me.
Mobile Game of the Year, League of Legends, of course.
Right.
It's fucking League of Legends. Now, this was interesting to me, because I didn't expect this. The best gaming hardware, PS5. PS5 got it. Okay. My one's fucking broken.
Well, that's not through the PS5.
Shit. And apparently, the issue that's with it is actually something that would have happened anyway because I had a faulty PS5. So thanks, Sony. Wankers. But yeah, what's your kind of take on that? Being it the best hardware? What's kind of your take?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really got anything to compare it to, so maybe I'd agree. But yeah, just keep going. I still don't think it's reached its full potential.
Yeah, definitely not.
And we'll see in a few years, how much it can handle.
Yeah, so. I definitely think it's out of my experiences, it's definitely the best leap out of them all. It's the closest to PC that you're going to get on a console at this point. I mean, I know a lot of people like to rant and rave about the Series X, but it's definitely better than the Series X in my mind.
Yeah,
Still
it's the
nice
best.
stuff,
It's
but-
the best leap. Yeah, for some reason, when I go look back, it still doesn't feel like the same leap as the PS3 to the PS4. Like, I don't know, that felt massive at the time. I don't know why.
Yeah, I
it was
feel
really
like the
like-
PS5 is what the PS4 should have been in my mind, because it's 60 frames and stuff like that. Like that stuff should have been done after the PS3. But
Yeah,
yeah, and not sound like a jet engine.
yeah, yeah,
But I mean, I get where you're coming from as well. Kind of like it definitely. I think it's more speculative now, and it's sort of like, how are you going to push this further? You know, within the time frame that you've got.
yeah. Because there's still some features missing from the PS4, like themes and stuff, and you just want some more old things back.
I would like themes back, to be honest. I had a lot of them.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm happy it won it. I can wave that around and flaunt it.
Best indie game was Death's Door. I've not played it, so I wouldn't know.
That only just came out, I think. So
Yeah, I'm
not
quite
a chance.
surprised. This is why I don't look at the awards. Normally they're fucking rigged. Studio of the Year, Capcom.
Okay, so for Resident Evil.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. I'll be honest. All right, you did some remasters, but 3 was really short. And to be honest, had a bunch of bugs when it came out, apparently. And Resi 2 was impressive, don't get me wrong. It was very impressive. But it is still just a remake that you built from the ground up.
Yeah, it's probably one of those cases where the nominees weren't allowed to be exclusive first-party companies or something.
Yeah.
So they had to pick from like EA and Ubisoft. I thought, okay, we'll go with Capcom.
Yeah, they can't do EA or Ubisoft, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Best performer, Maggie Robertson, Lady Demetresque.
Yeah, I saw that.
A lot of people actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that was what a lot of people would have wanted. So,
I think I kind of a bit torn on this one because, like, would she really be as popular if she wasn't a 7-foot woman with a large booty?
A 7-foot woman with a large booty. I mean, yeah,
in the game, not
you're
in
not
real
wrong.
life. But I don't know, but it's a bit like I've like her acting in the game is okay, but it's a bit like I don't know. Part of some lines make me cringe a little bit. She's like, "I will find you and I will break you." It's like, really?
she's also not in it for very long, apparently.
I know, yeah.
So, I mean, maybe. I mean, I'm not saying that her performance is bad. You know,
it's not
a lot
bad
of the
at all.
performance I've seen is in that game is very good, but I don't know.
It's a bit like I can think of I can't think of right now, but I'm sure there are there's a lot of great actors in games, and like The Last of Us, I'm surprised that there's no performance for Joel in there, but Troy Baker, we'll see.
Troy Baker does a very good job, I must admit.
But then again, he's probably his shelf's probably breaking with the amount of awards he's got.
Yeah, probably. Only him and Nolan North, right?
Yeah, they're the two voice actors in the ring at the moment.
Oh, I know. Breakthrough Award was House Marquee. I've not played it, so I wouldn't know.
Housemarque, aren't they a studio or is that?
Breakthrough Award. I don't know if that would be in a company or not, but
Oh, that's for Returnal. I think
maybe, yeah.
they did Returnal,
I'll check
which
that
it got a lot of good press. So
Yeah,
that's the first kind of game
Returnal,
in the AAA.
No, that makes sense.
So
I mean, Returnal apparently is a very good game.
I mean, again, it's probably a case of there probably aren't any much options for that award. So I mean, they're the only one that fit that category quite well at the moment. So I mean, yeah, but it is well deserved.
Best game community and still playing award, apparently Final Fantasy 14. So I know that game's very popular, so I would assume so. PC Game of the Year was Hitman 3.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Rigged.
Rigged. Nintendo Game of the Year was Metroid Dread. I can believe that. I've seen so much press on Metroid and so much, like, the fan base alone is fucking crazy. So,
Yeah.
fair enough. That makes sense. Xbox Game of the Year, Psychonauts 2. I've still yet to play the first one, so, I mean, Interesting. PlayStation Game of the Year was Resident Evil Village.
Okay.
And also, Resident Evil Village won the Ultimate Game of the Year award.
Right.
So, I mean, from what I've seen, it's a very good game, but I don't know if
Capcom have really kind of got a good steal this award.
Yeah, this year
What's
apparently
going on behind the
Capcom
scenes?
have got everything.
But I mean, I can understand it. Like, it's a very good game.
Yeah, I mean, I've yet to play it, but I can see why. Most wanted game was Elden Ring.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see that.
no surprise there.
Critics' Choice Award. This is an interesting one. Deathloop. But from what I've seen, apparently it's really mediocre. Mediocre.
Yeah.
So
A lot of people are saying it's good, but not for full price.
yeah, critics. This just proves, doesn't it, that critics just are wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Ultimate hardware of all time, PC. Yeah, fuck off, you PC master race, toffee nosed twat bags. Yeah, whatever.
Everyone's offended now.
Yeah. The ultimate game of all time, interesting one, Dark Souls. So there we
It's
are.
a bit of a wishy-washy award. That ultimate game of all time.
Yeah,
Like, really?
I don't know.
So, according to who?
Exactly, yeah, like a few people, handful of fucking people.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why it's popular, but ultimate game of all time,
No.
not for me.
Not
Doesn't
for me.
represent me.
Not even close. But then I'm not a Souls player, apparently. So
I'm not a professional critic.
professional
I can't comment on this thing.
Yeah. Although critics can't even get past fucking tutorials half the time.
No, everyone's a critic.
Everyone's a crack. Alright. But yeah, so that's all I've got for the gaming stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that is games.
We are now on to the final section of today's show. The interesting things!
Yeah,
Have you got anything good, sir?
I do have one thing. It's a bit out there. But,
Yeah, because we're not.
would you judge someone who stays with a cheating partner?
I don't think I do. I wouldn't, because I have stayed with someone who cheated on me. So I don't know. I think it depends on the situation. I feel sorry for people that stay with people like that. It's probably because they feel like they can't get better.
Yeah, it's
Abusive situations, all that stuff. I don't know if I'd judge someone for it. I don't think I could, because I've done it. So I mean, you know, I feel sorry for them more than I would judge them, I think.
Yeah, I would feel sorry for them. I think I don't know about judge is the right word, but perhaps feel a bit differently about them. Like maybe if you, I don't know. It's very kind of subjective thing, isn't it? Because you don't know unless it's happened to you, or if because if you're really in love with someone, you know, who is anyone else to say that you shouldn't be together? And maybe it was a mistake. But if it's someone who continually cheats and stuff, and they're very famous, and clearly that person is just staying for the money, then you know I would call that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, it's like kind of not really anyone's business, I suppose. But I mean, it's never a nice thing, really. And it's easy for people to say, "Oh, well, you know, just leave them." But I mean, when you're in love with someone, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's different.
I hate being sitting on the fence. We always seem to do it. But
I think the thing is with a topic like this, it also goes by situation, right?
I know.
If a person is in an abusive situation, for instance, it's different to just someone cheating on someone, you know? Not that either one is better than the other, but what I mean
Depends
is...
how long they're cheating on them for, if it's one night stand, if it's like a 5 year stint.
It's each to their own. Personally, if someone cheated on me now, you'd be gone. There would be no fucking... You wouldn't get another chance, simple as. But back when I was younger, I didn't care. Oh, I did care, but I didn't know how to leave and how it worked. So, I mean, it's one of those things that's very to each individual situation. But if I had a friend that was being cheated on, personally, I would encourage them to leave. That would be my choice. I would say leave. Don't even fucking bother. Just leave.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's my stance on that one.
I don't know what I'd say to a friend, really. I'd just be like, you know, I'm here to talk to you, but ultimately it's your choice and I'll respect whatever choice you make. But,
yeah. I'd be blunt, but I'd be like, you know, whatever you choose.
Goodbye.
Like, you know, if they're cheating on you, fuck them. They don't deserve you. Yeah. So find someone better who deserves you and will treat you right. You know, don't waste your time on this waste of space. But, you know, I get that that's harder than, you know, from being in that position twice. It's harder, like, it's easier said than done. But yes. Well, interesting one. Interesting. I do also have one. So, how many work hours in a week is too many? I can't remember if we've talked about this one before or not. But
what is the average? Like 40, 50.
40 hours or something, I think. I'll give it a quick Google.
I'm a fan of maybe 40 hours because, and especially maybe over 4 days, and then you get 3 days off.
No,
I think
it's
that's
apparently now it's like 33 and a half hours. Used to be closer to 14, but
I would say I wouldn't like to go. I know it's kind of difficult to say because not everyone's in a standard 9 to 5 kind of thing, but I'd say anything above kind of 45 is just like a bit too much, I think. But of course, people are out there saying, "Oh, I work 100 hours a week and I'm fine." But good for you. But it's kind of, you need that kind of balance in life to make life worth living, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't just focus all your attention on work, otherwise that just defines you. And yeah.
And honestly, I think I agree. About 45 hours. I used to sort of say 40, but since I do YouTube and I stream and I edit and do all that, and I mark up my hours every week to make sure that I'm not overworking myself, you tend to find that you end up going past 40 hours, especially when you're self-employed, because you're trying the more you work, the more you gain, essentially. So technically, as much fun as doing the podcast is for myself and Sean, at this point it's become a fucking job. So but it's still fun. That's the idea. I know. I know maybe this is a bit too personal, but I know you're an editor, Sean. You edit.
Yeah.
How many hours averagely do you think you work in a week, if you had to sort of guess? Because obviously you're self-employed, so.
Yeah. Well, it does vary a lot, but on a good week it can be past 40, but on a bad one it can be like somewhere around 15 or 10 even. So it's just
hit or miss,
because you always have to find the next task,
the next project,
and seek it out. But yeah, I try to keep it quite balanced, and more often than not it can be on the lower side of that. So I don't. There's nothing worse than just spending like 20 hours of your day on a project, and sometimes that can be just wasted time as well because you're so tired you don't realize what you're doing and you could be making mistakes and stuff. Especially when what you're doing is at the judgment of someone else as well. Like maybe they don't want you to do this, so you've got to kind of keep checking and making adjustments as you go along. Which is, it's no point spending 10 hours on something when it turns out you don't need to be doing that.
It's a tricky one as well with editing as well, because there's so many different styles to go for. I mean, I'm not a professional editor like yourself, but I've sort of self-taught little things and stuff, and it's nuts how adding one thing in can take so much more time over the course of a 5-minute video, when you're not like completely creatively in control, it's a bit more time consuming as well. But I don't go above 45 hours a week, guys. 45 hours, good amount of time. You go over that, you're going to start having issues.
But I mean, if you have no choice, then obviously you work your heart out. Anyone can do what they want, but
of course.
And you need that balance.
I think this is a subjective matter again, isn't it? It's kind of what you two earn. Like, personally, myself, I'm a workaholic. If I could work 100 hours every week and not get burnt out, I would. But I can't do that because I love my friends and my family and I want to spend time with them. So
my limit is probably a lot different to someone else's limit who's,
exactly.
Corporately minded or whatever. Some people can never switch off.
I mean... Yeah, just look back at my old streams. You can see how fucking tired I am. You can, and that's the thing as well. I think there's a healthy limit as well. I think the healthy limit is probably like to everyone. I think even if you're okay with working, as you say, 60, 70 hours a week, is it healthy for you? That's the question that then comes into sort of, I guess, overall. But that's like an entirely different topic.
Yeah.
It's again, maybe it's each to their own. I don't know, but
yeah.
We'll see. That was a good one.
That was.
I just randomly came up with it at the start because I was like, oh shit, I haven't got anything. And I'm sick of just not having anything for it. So I thought, fuck it. How many hours is a good amount? Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Sean, for joining me for the podcast, as always.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, as it always
Thanks
is.
for having me. Good
This is your show just as much as it is mine. But yeah, so thank you to everyone for watching. If you did enjoy it, please slap a like on that video and check out all the links in the description. It does help us algorithmically. I said a big word. But yeah, so...
Even though it doesn't exist. No,
Even though it doesn't exist. Yeah.
I don't know if it does.
Thank you all very much for watching. It is appreciated again from myself and Sean, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Much love to your faces, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.